It's always great every time that I come back here into Indian Wells. I love this tournament. I love the vibes. I love everything. So obviously I think in good. I would say like even better. With this time of the year, playing some tennis, really good tennis, and so it's just excited about the tournament began. Well, it's probably I could As I said after the final, I could rank him probably top 10, and best matches I've ever played in my career so far. So I just trying to play my best.
Do you see Alcaraz is right now unbeatable?
Well, nobody's unbeatable. We all have good and bad days. He's clearly number one. But a year ago, you would have said that about Sinner, right? So things can happen in sport. It's always very unpredictable, but that's the beauty of sport. You never know, but right now Carlos looks great.
What difference have you seen in this rise of level of Carlos?
I think maturity, even though he's 22, I think he's playing now, 5 years on the tour. He understands better what he has to do to win.
Few voices are more authoritative when it comes to tennis than that of Boris Becker. The former German player, winner of 6 Grand Slam titles and one of the most precocious players in history, he won Wimbledon at just 17 years old, knows firsthand what the pressure of the sports elite is like. He has analyzed the situation of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, the two current dominant forces on the tour and winners of the last 9 Grand Slam titles. The two-time champion of the Australian Open, 1991 and 1996, 3-time Wimbledon champion, 1985, 1986 and 1989, and 2-time US Open champion, 1989, believes that too much pressure should not be placed on Alcaraz and Sinner when comparing them to the big three, Federer, Nadal and Djokovic. It's very difficult. It's a long road and I wouldn't put too much pressure on Carlos and Jannik. They are very young, so we have to give them some space to develop. They certainly have the talent and the power, but you would have to ask me again in 15 years and I'll be able to answer. Becker said this Tuesday in Madrid during the announcement of the nominees for the Laureus World Sports Awards 2026, where Sinner and Alcaraz are nominated for Sportsman of the Year alongside Ousmane Dembélé, Mondo Duplantis, Marc Marquez and Tadej Pogacar. The former German player, born in Lyman on November 22, 1967, stated that nobody is unbeatable but that at the moment Alcaraz is clearly number one. We all have good and bad runs. He is clearly number one right now, but anything can happen in sport. It's always unpredictable, and that's the beauty of sport. Right now, Carlos looks fantastic, admitted Becker. Becker also spoke about the iron grip that Alcaraz and Sinner have imposed on the tour and the fact that they have won the last 9 Grand Slam titles. That's good for them and bad for everyone else. We thought that after the era of Nadal, Federer and Djokovic we wouldn't have another superstar, and now we have two, Becker analyzed. Tennis is more popular than ever and you have two very different personalities. Spain is very fortunate because it had Nadal for 20 years and now it has Alcaraz, who is an emotional and charismatic player. On the other side, you have a colder player like Jannik Sinner, who is the complete opposite of him, but both are very good and this competition between them will be there for years, the former German player said. Finally, Becker spoke about his compatriot Alexander Zverev and expressed his hope that he can win his first Grand Slam title this season. He has played many finals, this year is another opportunity, Becker concluded. Spanish tennis player Jaume Munar, speaking to Eurosport, said it is a joy for Spanish tennis that right after Rafa Nadal, Carlos Alcaraz has emerged. It doesn't surprise me that another champion has come out of Spanish tennis after Rafa Nadal, but it is curious that we have a young player who aspires to everything. Still keeping some distance from Rafa. Once again, we have a contender in every Grand Slam. For the fans, it's incredible. It doesn't surprise me because in Spain we have many tools to develop very good players. We have tradition, good coaches. Said Munar. On Jannik Sinner, he broke down the differences. I love their rivalry. Carlos is very entertaining to watch, he enjoys what he does and it shows. On the other side, you have another player with a different energy. He wants to improve and chase Carlos. He's a calmer guy, sometimes he seems like ice. We have this clash of personalities. They are two amazing players with different styles. I think both have accepted that role and have absolute respect for each other, Munar added. Munar praised Alcaraz and his battle with Sinner on Eurosport. I see Carlos a step ahead. Jaume Munar spoke exclusively to Eurosport, where he discussed various topics in a wide-ranging interview, highlighting his view of the rivalry between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. The Balearic player, who is recovering from a shoulder injury, explained that he sees Carlos a step ahead, although both have absolute respect for each other, which makes the rivalry even more attractive. Alcaraz announces his biggest change on the professional tour. After the ban in Melbourne, the men's circuit authorizes performance devices on court. The technology could be used in Indian Wells. Doubts spread across social media and the tour itself when, during the Australian Open, the world number one was asked to remove his Whoop bracelet before the start of his fourth-round match against Tommy Paul. A decision that, although not to the Spaniard's liking, did not destabilize him enough to prevent his victory, 7-6, 6-4, 7-5. There were various hypotheses, from fears of communication with betting sectors, to technological doping or improper technical measurements, all of this compounded by the lack of approval of certain products. In the case of Whoop, far from dramatizing the situation after being thrust into the media spotlight, they took advantage of the controversy as a publicity move. They sent smart performance apparel to figures such as Sinner, Sabalenka and Alcaraz himself so they could continue tracking their data. After reviewing the situation and allowing the controversy to cool down, the men's circuit has made its stance official in a statement. The board has approved a rule expanding the range of permitted wearable device providers and authorizing their use on court by players in ATP competitions. Thus, the reigning Australian Open champion will be able to continue setting trends with devices that are now removed from the list of prohibited accessories. What changes under the new ATP rule? The devices, usually monitoring wristbands, record heart rate, workload, recovery and sleep quality. This information not only helps a player's fitness team but also feeds into analysis that optimizes planning. The ATP justified the change by pointing to the rise of data analysis in elite sport. The new regulation will apply immediately, and the first tournament where these monitoring wristbands may be seen will be the Masters 1000 in Indian Wells. The measure aims to regulate their use and expand the range of authorized providers, thereby limiting disputes between officials and technical teams before matches. The initial controversy, however, had an unexpected effect. It increased Whoop's visibility. Its founder, Will Ahmed, defended the device, stating, "It is approved by the International Tennis Federation and poses no safety risk. Let athletes measure their bodies. Data is not steroids." The authorization of monitoring wristbands closes one discussion about technology on court and opens another: how to manage information without affecting competitive balance. For the ATP, it is about adapting the regulations to tools that are already part of preparation and that also bring a more professional and scientific framework to the tour. Carlos Alcaraz has already triumphed twice at Indian Wells, 2023 and 2024, joining the list of players with 2 titles, alongside names such as Jim Courier, Boris Becker, Lleyton Hewitt, and Pete Sampras. The current champion and defending title holder is Britain's Jack Draper, who defeated Alcaraz in last year's semifinals. As in every ATP tournament, there are also substantial cash prizes for all players. Carlos Alcaraz, champion this year at the Australian Open and the ATP 500 in Doha, leads this season's earnings with more than $3 million, specifically, a total of $3,301,730. The Spaniard, in outstanding form, will seek his 3rd title of the year at Indian Wells and continue adding to his bank account. The ATP has already announced the prize money for Indian Wells 2026, and the winner will receive $1,151,380. The runner-up will earn $612,340, while the semifinalists will take home $340,190. Reaching the quarterfinals will be worth $193,645. The remaining prize money is distributed as follows: 4th round, $105,720. 3rd round, $61,865. 2nd round, $36,110. 1st round, $24,335.